everybody, it's Wendy, and oh my goodness, I am so glad to be putting out a YouTube video. So it has been a minute since I have put out any videos. We have moved and things have been crazy. And so I'm finally in the new house. I am finally in my new room and getting ready, organized enough to be able to record some videos. Now, one thing that it is going to take me a little bit to figure out is the lighting in here. So I have got a window directly in front of me, which I'm not used to. So it's a lot of natural light. So you guys are gonna have to bear with me for a little bit until I get the hang of this videoing in this new lighting. But today we are going to make a necklace. My little niece Lainey is turning, well, she's not little anymore, but she's got a birthday, and so I am going to make a necklace for her. So I wanted to use this moon pendant. It says to the moon and back, and this little star charm. And I'm going to glue a crystal on it, and this is a sapphire or light sapphire AB Swarovski crystal. And I'm going to glue this right on the star. And then I've got some really pretty Swarovski bicones here in light sapphire AB, and some stars, little star beads. And I've got some Coriana chain. I have a lobster clasp. I have an extender chain. I have some ball head pins that we're going to put these stars on. And I have a regular head pin somewhere around here. I don't know where it went, but I will find it when I need it. And I've got some E6000 glue, and of course my jewelry pulls. So yeah, we're gonna make Lainey a necklace, and I'll get that in the mail hopefully tomorrow to her. So if you want to make something similar to me, you can basically do this with any components that you have. The Coriana chain is for sale on my website in every color. I've got it in platinum, that's what this is. I have it in antique silver, I have it in gold, rose gold, gunmetal, and then I have beading chain in antique copper and antique gold. So those you can also put the beads right on, like this Coriana chain. Okay, you are going to need as well a couple of crimp beads and a couple of clamshell covers, which I have both here, and I actually have both on my website as well. So let me grab a couple of these out because I neglected to do this. So a couple of crimp beads. I think these are like 2mm crimp beads. All my crimp beads are in together. Check it out. Great organization I've got going on here. So I don't really even know what size they are, but they're going to be inside of your clamshell cover anyway, so it doesn't really matter as long as they're not going to slide on your chain. That's all that you really need to worry about. I believe these are a 2mm or even 1.5, and I've never had trouble with them. So there are my two clamshell covers and my crimp beads. Let me put these back in here so I won't knock them over because there's a million of them in there. Okay, so since I've lost my head pin, maybe I'll grab another one of those silver head pins. I have got this room going. I'm going to do a tour, but I'm still finishing up a few things, so that's not going to be for probably a week or so. Alrighty, so here we have what we need. So you can use, like I said, any bead you want, but this is what I'm doing for Lainey for her birthday, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to glue my light sapphire AB crystal. It's a 20 SS. I'm going to glue it right onto my little star. And I just take a toothpick. Let me clean this off because it's kind of dry a little bit. I just take a toothpick and get a little fresh glue out of there. It does not take much. I mean, you want enough to hold it on there, but it doesn't take much. And I'm just going to dab a little on my star. And if you twist like this, it helps you control the glue, okay? So just twist your toothpick back and forth. This is a toothpick with beeswax on the end. You can get this beeswax at Hobby Lobby. It comes in a big yellow block. It is in the aisle with the leather working stuff. And it's perfect for picking up and placing these crystals. So there we have it. There's our little blinged out star with our moon. And you are going to need some jump rings too. And I'm sorry I neglected to say that, but you do. All right. So I'm going to let that dry, and while I let that dry, I'm going to bead her necklace. Now, I am doing this, I'm keeping this very, very simple. She is young, and I don't want anything like, too flashy or crazy. So I am keeping it simple. I'm going to hold this up to me, though, and see where it falls on me and cut it accordingly. So I will tell you how much that is in just a second. All right. So let me grab my tape measure, and I'll tell you exactly how long I kept this chain. So if you're making a necklace and you want to do it the same, you can. And it looks like I've got about, isn't that lovely? My tape measure is not wanting to, there we go, to lock out. It just keeps winding back. Okay, so I've got about 22 inches here. And when I get it all strung up, I may actually cut it a little shorter, but I don't want it to be too short on her, but I don't want it to be long on her either. So, yeah. All right, so the moon is going to go right in the middle of my chain. So I'm just going to take a jump ring. And I've got these oval jump rings. These are on my website. I love these because I feel like they are way more secure than regular jump rings because of their oval shape. So the split for the jump ring is in the middle of the oval, and you're not going to have as much chance of it coming undone. And Lainey is a little rough, so I want this to be secure. So I'm going to use these oval jump rings just to be sure that it's as secure as I can make it for her. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and put my chain right through here, just like this. Okay, so there's the moon. Now we're not going to attach the star for a minute. We're going to let it dry, and the E6000 dries pretty fast. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put on a couple of these bicones, just like this. And like I said, I'm going to keep this very simple, so I probably will not bead very far up this chain. I'm just going to do a few beads. Now, I'm kind of thinking I might like something metal in here as well, like just a metal spacer. So hold on, let me grab a metal bead. Okay, so I just pulled out some simple 4mm silver spacer beads, and that's what I'm going to use, if I can hang on to it. And I'm going to put the spacer bead right here after my bicone on both sides. Okay, just like that. Now, I want to hang some of these little stars. These little stars won't go directly onto, I wish they would just go directly onto this chain, but they won't. So I'm going to have to hang them using ball head pins. But I'm going to put one more bicone on each side first, just so it has a little space out from the moon. And one more silver spacer on each side. And I need to make sure I'm using the same size. I have all my spacers, my silver spacers mixed together as well. So, I gotta make sure that I'm grabbing, that one was too big that I had there a second ago. I gotta make sure I'm grabbing the correct size. I mix everything together. It's a terrible habit, but it's so much easier for me. It works for me. So anyway, here we go. All right, so we've got this so far, and it's dainty and pretty. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna look at these ball head pins and see if I like the way this looks. If it doesn't, then I just may not even use these stars. I want to, but I don't want it to be weird either. And I don't know if they need shined up or what, but that one looks kind of dull. It may just be the coating on them. I think it is. Shine them up a little bit. Okay, yeah, they're good. All right, so let's create a wrapped loop. So to make a wrapped loop, you're going to take your plier and you're going to bend this at a 90-degree angle. Now, I'm going to make a very tiny loop. I don't want this to be very big. So I'm going to take my round nose pliers, go all the way down pretty much to the end, flip it up and over like this, rotate my pliers, and take this right under. And I want to pull it tight, okay? And then you've got your little loop. And then I'm going to grab it right here, and I'm just going to wrap it neatly. A lot of times I do a messy wrap, but I don't want to do that this time. I want it to look pretty. And I'm going to wrap it 3 times around in a row, not on top of itself, but one wrap right under the next, and I'm going to cut that. And then I'm going to take my pliers, and I'm going to make sure that this is tucked in so it doesn't catch on her clothes, her skin, anything else, okay? You want to make sure there are no rough parts. And if your loop has become kind of misshapen, you can put your plier back in and just reshape that. So there I have my little star. I'm going to hang it directly on here with the little loop that I made. And we're just going to see how it looks. Oh, okay, it's cute. It is cute. Alright, so I'm going to make another one. Okay, so this one, I want to make sure I hang them the same direction because this has a different finish on the other side. So this one, my loop is actually turned kind of sideways, so I'm probably going to take this off real quick. And I want it to hang in this direction, so I want to make sure that my loop is turned this way, because when your chain goes through here, it's going to hang through that way. So you want to make sure that your loop is turned the right way. And then I'm going to just put this right back on. And now when I pick it up, it hangs with my star hanging front ways. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm just going to make another little wrapped loop. And again, I'm just going a little bit above my bead, making that 90-degree bend. Taking my plier in here down toward the end, wrapping up and over, rotating my plier, going straight under and pulling it tight. Okay, then I'm grabbing the loop with my plier, and I'm going to do about 3 wraps, one on top of the other. Now if I can't get 3, I'll just do 2. You know, it doesn't matter, just as long as it looks neat. But I got 3 there going, and I'm going to trim it. Cut it off right here. Take my plier, make sure it's tucked in. Okay, so that one's not. And it spins a little bit on you. You might have to just play with it a second. Okay, then I'm going to look, and this star is right. It's hanging the way I want it to. So I'm going to take my chain and just insert it right in here and put it right on. And there it is. Cute, cute. Okay, I'm going to take another silver spacer bead. Let me get a few more out. I've got some of the right sizes to choose from. There we go. Going to just insert that on my chain. Okay, one more on the other side. They look bigger in this container than they do when I pull them out. Okay, here we go. Oops. Okay, just like that. And then I'm just going to do another sapphire bicone. These are 6mm bicones. The spacer beads are, I believe, 3mm. And I don't know how big these little star beads are. They look like they're about 4mm or so. 5mm. Maybe they're 6. I don't know. Alright. And we're going to put a couple more of these on. So here's what we have. It's really cute. Really, really cute. I may do one more star on each side. So let me do a spacer bead on each side. Spacer bead there, spacer bead here. Okay, And then I'm going to make 2 more star wraps. Same thing as before. 90-degree angle right above my bead. Go down to the very end, up and over, rotate, completely under and pull tight. Grab it with your plier right here. Take your finger and gently and carefully make your wraps. Okay, cut it off. Take your plier and tuck it. Sometimes you do have to chase it around a little bit to get it tucked in there. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure that my loop is turned the right way, just like that. This is not wanting to tuck in for some reason. There we go. I think I got it. Okay. Yeah, and then I'm going to hang this bead on, just like that. I'm going to do another spacer bead over here and another bicone. Spacer bead, bicone, and one more spacer bead. And then I'm probably going to crimp this, okay? So let's put those on first. Let me do the other side. So I need my little heart or my little star. Okay. Go ahead and make your loop. Just like that. I try to cut it as flush as I can, but sometimes there's always, well, there's usually always the little snaggle sticking out that you gotta push down in there. Okay. Gotta do this right. Make sure it's gonna hang the right way. And they may spin a little bit, but you know, as long as you've got them basically right, it'll be okay. And then we're gonna take a spacer bead, and I'm going to put that right on there. Another bicone, another spacer bead, and here's what we have. Now I'm going to leave it at this. I don't want anything more. I just want it simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ends and match them up and make sure, see, this isn't hanging in the middle. I want to scoot this down to where it hangs in the exact middle and it's directly across from itself. So you want to make sure that you get your ends as close as possible that you can. So I just match them up like this, as close as I can get them, and then I take it and I pull it down, and I want to try to get this as close as I can. See, like that. It doesn't matter which way you lay your, like it's backwards right now, that's okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this crimp bead and I'm going to go all the way down on top of my little spacer, and I'm going to leave just a tad bit of room. I don't want a whole lot. I just want enough to where it has a tiny bit of movement, and I'm going to crimp that down, okay? And that is going to keep this from sliding all over whenever she's trying to wear it. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Same thing, you just want it to have a little bit of movement, but not a ton, and crimp it. Okay, and then I'm going to use crimp covers on this, but you don't have to. It's not a big deal if you don't, but I have a couple, so I'm going to use them. They're stuck together. See if I can find some that aren't stuck together. There we go. There's a couple. And I'm just going to take these. I'm going to put them right over my crimp. I'm just going to gently close it. Okay, and if it's not closed all the way, you just want to kind of gently play with it a little bit with your plier till you get it closed in that perfect little circle. Same thing on this side. Stick it right over the top, pat it down. Now if these are like 1.5 or 2 inch crimps, then I would say this is a 4mm crimp bead cover, would be my guess. It looks about 4mm. It may be less. They're not labeled, so I don't know. But I just play with it until it closes up. And there you have your little necklace. Now I'm going to flip this over, lay it here, and we're going to go ahead and attach the star. It's going to dangle right down here from the moon. So I'm going to take my jump ring, and again I'm using the oval jump ring because I feel like it's really secure. And I'm going to, by now your crystal should be fairly set. If you don't, I mean, it won't be completely set for like 24 hours, but if you just are gentle with it, you should be able to do this. So I'm just going to take this jump ring, put it right through the same. I don't want to cross over the jump ring that's already in there. I want to stay below it, so just kind of be careful that you do that. So they just kind of, this one hangs underneath the other one. Whoops. I knew I was going to drop it. Okay. And just close this up. These pliers are Xuron pliers. I'm going to make sure it's closed really good. They are needle nose, and they are on Amazon, and Xuron is spelled Xuron, not Z. Okay, so if you want to find them, they are the Xuron needle nose pliers. I love them. And there is my little pendant so far. So I think this is really sweet. Okay, so I'm going to hold it up to myself again. I want to see where it lays on me. I think that's pretty good, actually. And I'm going to finish the ends. Now for that I need 2 more crimp beads. I just took my crimp beads and used them on the ends of my thing, didn't I? Okay, so I'll get 2 more out here. And these I'm going to put a dab of glue in because this is the ending and I want it to be very secure. Okay, so I'll show you here how I do this. Okay, so I'm going to take my clamshell. I'm going to insert this right in the bottom. I'm going to take my crimp bead and put it right on the end up here. And I'm just going to crimp it down with my pliers. Like this. Make sure it's crimped really good. I'm going to take a dab of E6000 glue on my toothpick. Okay, it doesn't take a whole lot, but I just feel like this makes this very secure, and I'm going to cover the crimp bead. I didn't get enough glue. My glue's kind of drying up. It's very hot up here today. Okay, here we go. There we go. I want to cover it pretty good. You know, it doesn't have to be a ton of glue, but I want to cover it fairly well. Then I'm going to take my plier and just close it up. Okay, and when that dries in there, that's going to be very, very secure. It would be very hard for it to come out. She would have to break the chain, and this chain is pretty strong. It's not that easy to break. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Put my clamshell on and my little crimp bead. Crimp it down. Take a dab of glue. And just cover it up pretty good in there. Put the lid on this glue because it's wanting to leak out. Oops. And close this up. Now if your clamshell closes crooked, just take your pliers and fix it. It's not a big deal. Okay. And there you go. Alright, now we're going to take a jump ring and I'm going to hook the lobster on one end. Like this. And there we have it. Just make sure it's closed up real good. There's your lobster. Now we're going to make a little dangle to go on the other end, and for this I'm just going to take one of the stars and put it on first. Oh, well, I'm not either. It won't go down. I'm sorry. Chris has just fired up the leaf blower outside the window. Sorry about that. Okay, well, that still won't go down far enough, so I'm going to put a spacer. I'm just going to do the bicone, the spacer, and then surely this little star will go. There we go. Okay, and just make a cute little dangle. Bend this at a 90-degree angle. I think I'm going to make this a wrap loop just for security. And you just go up and over, just like you did with your other, but this one you're going to have to probably use your pliers for because the head pin's a little bit thicker than your ball head pin would be. This is just a normal head pin. I'm so sorry about the weedy or the air leaf blower out there. Now he quit. Okay, cut this off. Come on now. There we go. And make sure you don't have any little snaggles sticking out. I do, of course. Just like that. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to use a little bit bigger ring than this regular jump ring for her to clasp this onto. Just because it'll be kind of difficult for her to clasp it onto the regular. So I've got some bigger oval jump rings here. So I'm going to use this. And I'm going to take this. And what I did not do was hook this on when I made my wrapped loop, which would have been smart, but I'm just going to go ahead and hook it on now onto the end of this extender chain piece. Close that up. Okay, and I'm going to take this ring right here. Oh, I hope this will go through the, some of these won't go through the clamshell loop because they're tiny, but this one may or may not. Let's look and see. I may have to grab another one. No, I think it will. Maybe. Come on now. It's not lined up very good. There we go. Okay, so we're just going to put that right on there. We're going to put our extender chain right on there. Close that up. Come on. There we go. And it's closed up really good. I'll make sure they are. Okay, so there we have it. It is a cute little necklace. Get these little jump rings out of the way. I think it's very age appropriate for her, and I think she's gonna love it. So yeah, I like this. If you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. That helps me out on YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. I have a lot of people watching who haven't subscribed. So please subscribe to the channel. That way you'll know when I upload videos, because I haven't uploaded any for the past couple of weeks because we've been moving, but normally I upload a lot. And I'm going to be uploading a lot more. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell, so you get notified. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.